The 2025 NFL Draft is in the books. It's time to give you guys my grades for how I think Ryan Poles did in the draft this year. What's going on, guys? I'm back with another Chicago Bears draft discussion video. The schedule releases in a few weeks. I'll be having a schedule prediction video out for you guys as soon as that releases in a few weeks. But yeah, this will be my last draft video. After this, it's going to be more off-season content. But yeah, every year I do a draft grade video. These are just for fun. Do not take these too seriously because I fully realize it's kind of stupid to be grading picks before these players even play on the football field. But it is fun in the future to look back on these videos and see how your thoughts during the draft process differed from what actually ended up happening a couple years later. So again, don't take it too seriously, just for fun. In this video, I'll be grading each pick based on 3 different criteria. So it's going to be talent level. Did we get a talented football player? Number 2 is going to be need. Do we actually need this player? Was it at a position of need? And then number 3 is going to be value. Did we get good value for this player based on where we thought they were going in the NFL draft? But without further ado, guys, let's begin with the grades. And our first pick was Colston Loveland at pick number 10 in the first round of the draft. And I'm giving this pick an A-. I was a big fan of Colston Loveland in the pre-draft process. I did think he was better than Tyler Warren pre-draft. So if you disagree with that, you're probably giving this pick a much lower grade because we didn't select the best tight end in your eyes. But I always thought Colston Loveland fit the Bears a lot more because the Bears needed a pass-catching, athletic, field-stretching type of tight end to complement Cole Kmet. I mean, Cole Kmet is solid all around, but he's not the athlete or the pass catcher down the field that Colston Loveland can be. And looking at the board at that point in time at pick number 10, like, there weren't very many better players out there in my opinion. Like, yes, you could have gone edge potentially. Maybe you could have gone running back, Omarion Hampton, but that would have been kind of a reach, right? So I'm perfectly fine in taking him at pick number 10. I hope he can develop into being a top 5 tight end, because if you do take a tight end in the first round this early, you're hoping they can be a top 5, top 7 level tight end to justify, you know, taking him while you already have Cole Kmet. So that's the only reason why this pick is an A- and not higher. But overall, I was a pretty big fan of this pick. I think it's going to be doing great things in the Bears offense for the next 5 years plus. The next pick that we had was Luther Burden, receiver, in the second round of the draft. And I'm giving this pick an A because the value was tremendous. Luther Burden very easily could have gone in the first round of the draft. Before this year, he was being viewed as receiver number 1 of this class. And unfortunately, last year, the production was not as good as 2023, partly due to bad quarterback play. But if you look at him play on the football field, the routes that he runs, his explosiveness, his yards after catch ability, the Bears got a receiver with wide receiver 1 potential in the second round. Again, I'm just really impressed with the value because this truly was the best player available on the board. Even though the Bears already had good receivers, you know, it didn't really fill a big position of need. Long term, you're still trying to select the best player available in the draft because you never know what could happen. I mean, if we eventually move off of DJ Moore, if we want to, you know, trade him maybe eventually. I'm not saying we should do that right now, but like at the end of DJ Moore's contract, whenever that is up, we got 2 really solid receivers to, you know, replace him now. And the Bears are going to be good on weapons for the next 4 years now with Rome Odunze and Luther Burden, and Caleb Williams is just going to have so many targets, so many, you know, weapons to throw to. So overall, do love the talent level. I do love the value a lot. Not a big need, obviously, for the Bears, but in the NFL draft, you should not only be drafting for need, you should be drafting best player available, and Luther Burden was by far the best player available. Going to our next second round pick, we traded back and selected offensive tackle Ozzy Trapilo, and I'm giving this pick a B+. Overall, I do like adding more talent to the offensive line, especially at tackle. This gives Braxton Jones some competition, that gives Kiran Amegaji competition as well, and if Darnell Wright suffers injury, I mean, he could step up and fill in because he played a lot of right tackle in college. And long term, I think he projects to be maybe a better pass protector than Braxton Jones. So if he does pan out, this could be your eventual Braxton Jones replacement. In terms of value, I thought it was fine. I mean, there were some other better players maybe on the board at other positions that I feel like were, you know, higher talented football players. But I'm not too mad at it because adding talent to the trenches is something you should always do. The Bears have drafted offensive tackle high in the last 3 drafts now, which I really like. You have to keep on taking more swings at that position to really fortify the offensive line. So overall, pretty okay pick. We hope he turns into something good down the road. But going to our last second round pick, defensive tackle Shamar Turner. I'm giving this pick an A-. I do like Shamar Turner's ceiling. I mean, at his very best, he could be like a Madubuike type of player, like a very dominant interior pass rusher, and maybe a long-term solution next to Javon Dexter in the inside of this defense. He has inside-outside versatility. The value was pretty good. He was going in early round 3 or late round 2 in most mock drafts that I saw. So overall, a pretty solid pick. You hope he can add a lot to the inside of this defensive line. Going to our 4th round pick, then we traded back and then we drafted linebacker Ruben Hippolyte, and I'm giving this pick a D. That sounds kind of harsh, but I just really feel like the Bears reached on this pick. Okay, I didn't really see Ruben Hippolyte going like in this range in any mock drafts. I mean, Dane Brugler is like the beast, did not even include him in his prospect rankings. Like, it's just, I don't know, like it just seems like the Bears are really projecting here, and hopefully it could work. Hopefully with his strong athletic abilities, we can coach him up into being a pretty good linebacker. But I saw this floating around Twitter where this kind of reminds me of the Joel Iyiegbuniwe pick that Ryan Pace made back in 2018, I believe it was, where you're just projecting big time on a raw physical talent, but there wasn't like crazy tape in college to show that he was worth that pick, right? So, you know, you hope that the projection works and the coaching can turn him into being a pretty good football player. But I just think there were other better players on the board that maybe could have helped the Chicago Bears out more. So this is the main pick I didn't really agree with in this draft. Going to our 5th round pick, we drafted cornerback Zaw Frazier, and I'm giving this pick a B, okay? I always like adding to the secondary, especially when we had question marks about Tyreek Stevenson and Terrell Smith. He's okay, obviously, but like you need more depth probably at that position, and Zaw Frazier was fantastic value here. I saw our defensive back coach was really like clamoring to get this guy in the draft, and he was really happy. Al Harris was that, we did end up drafting him, and a lot to like in his physical attributes with how long he is, how tall he is, and his straight line speed. In college football last year, he had 6 interceptions, so a lot of production, with the ball. He only started in 10 games, so that's why it's a little bit risky projecting him to be a starter in the NFL. And he's already 25 years old, pretty old. That's why I'm not giving this pick like an A or an A+. But overall, I do like the value. I do like what he can bring as a depth cornerback on this team. Going to round 6, we selected guard Luke Newman, and I'm giving this pick a B as well. I think there's a lot to like in his physical attributes, his physical traits. He's really athletic. He can move, get out there in space. He does have to get stronger, but he has things that you can't really teach. But we do have a good offensive line coach in Dan Rouchar who hopefully can get the most out of him. And I did want the Bears to add more competition on the interior offensive line because I wasn't the happiest with only having Ryan Bates, Doug Kramer, and Bill Murray there, right? So, taking a swing on a long-term guy to develop, I'm totally okay with that, and hopefully it ends up working out. And finally, in the 7th round, we drafted running back Kyle Monangai, and I was a huge fan of this pick. I'm giving this pick an A, okay? Kyle Monangai was extremely productive in college football. He had 1,200 plus yards back-to-back seasons, and he did not test that well at the combine, but testing is not everything, especially at the running back spot. We've seen recent running backs like Bucky Irving really break out and have good seasons even after not testing well at the combine. If you watch him on tape, he runs angry. He's great at pass pro. He's great at breaking tackles, getting yards after contact. He kind of reminds me of David Montgomery in that way, maybe like a budget version of David Montgomery because he doesn't have the best speed, but, really patient, angry runner. He's going to, run through you sometimes. And a lot of people say he's going to be a fan favorite. So really excited to see him in this running back rotation. But yeah, those are all my grades. And as for my final composite grade for Ryan Poles in the 2025 NFL Draft, I'm giving him a good solid B+. Okay, overall, I was pretty happy with the draft, especially days 1 and day 2. I really liked the picks in those rounds. Day 3, some of them were a little bit wacky and maybe not the best value in my opinion, but you're also not going to complain too hard about day 3 picks. You're just trying to take flyers on athletic freaks that hopefully you can coach up and develop. And even though we didn't address all the needs that we had, like I would have liked to add an edge rusher, I would have liked to add a safety, sometimes the board just simply does not fall your way. And I do appreciate that Ryan Poles stuck to his board. He did not feel the need to trade up for anybody. I mean, he traded back multiple times and acquired multiple picks, including a 4th rounder next year to replace the 4th rounder that we traded away for Joe Tooney. So I thought it was a pretty solid draft for the Bears, all things considered, considering the board did not really fall our way to get running back earlier to draft safety or edge rusher, really. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down below. Do you guys like this draft? I know a lot of Bears fans, maybe not a lot, but like at least some on Twitter I'm seeing are not very happy with this draft haul because they wanted different players. But I'm choosing to trust Ben Johnson and even Dennis Allen with their evaluations, and also trust Ryan Poles. I mean, Ryan Poles has been a pretty good drafter in rounds 1 and 2. Not so much day 3, but hopefully the coaching staff we have can, get some hits out of the day 3 picks. So yeah, leave your comments down below, guys. We'll be back with more videos very, very soon. As always, guys, bear down.